Hello there, friends. I'm David, and welcome back to Vintage and Rustic, your cozy little corner of YouTube, where we slow things down and explore the beauty of timeless living spaces. If you've been with me before, you'll know that my heart beats for those classic, rustic touches, vintage interiors, and farmhouse aesthetics that instantly make a house feel like a home. Today, we're embarking on a lovely visual stroll through the Ralph Lauren home aesthetic. More specifically, a vintage spring farmhouse wrapped in classic American design. This isn't just any home tour. It's a gentle exploration of elegant interior decorating ideas steeped in history, charm, and thoughtful, layered textures. Think rustic wood furniture, antique light fixtures, plaid textiles, whitewashed walls, vintage kitchenware, and cozy reading nooks, all tied together with that unmistakable Ralph Lauren flair. His designs embrace weathered finishes, soft neutrals, and traditional American heritage motifs like equestrian art, patchwork quilts, classic gingham, and handcrafted pottery. It's the kind of space where time slows down, where the sound of creaking hardwood floors blends beautifully with the scent of fresh-cut flowers in an old mason jar. I hope you'll settle in with a cup of tea as we take this little tour together. Now, when you step inside a home styled with the Ralph Lauren home aesthetic, especially one leaning into a vintage spring farmhouse vibe, you immediately notice the rich layering of materials and the thoughtful use of vintage decor. Antique armoires, distressed leather chairs, woven baskets, cast iron hardware, and rustic farmhouse tables form the backbone of these interiors. The walls might be adorned with framed botanical prints, black and white equestrian photographs, and classic oil paintings in weathered wooden frames. Soft linen curtains gently sway in the breeze, while vintage floral fabrics mix harmoniously with striped and plaid cushions. The kitchen is a treasure trove of vintage kitchen decor. Glass canisters filled with flour, rustic wooden cutting boards, ceramic pitchers, and open shelving lined with classic blue and white china. Subtle touches of spring are introduced through fresh floral arrangements, delicate wreaths, and pastel vintage enamelware. Layered rugs, from faded Persian carpets to hand-woven jute mats, ground each space with warmth and texture. Lighting plays a key role as well, with wrought iron chandeliers, antique sconces, and table lamps with linen shades casting a welcoming glow over every carefully curated detail. This style blends perfectly with open farmhouse layouts, featuring exposed ceiling beams, painted wood floors, and shiplap walls, creating a space that's relaxed, lived in, and truly timeless. Moving through the different rooms of this Ralph Lauren-inspired farmhouse, the bedroom is a perfect study in rustic elegance. The bed might be dressed in crisp white linens, paired with cozy wool throws, vintage patchwork quilts, and hand-stitched pillow shams. Overhead, a weathered brass chandelier or a simple iron pendant light softly illuminates the space, enhancing the romantic atmosphere. Wooden nightstands display stacks of vintage books, glass hurricanes with flickering candles, and small ceramic bowls holding trinkets and fresh wildflowers. The room's color palette remains rooted in earthy tones, warm beiges, deep browns, muted greens, and soft ivory, with seasonal splashes of pale yellow, dusty pink, or faded blue. The bathroom As we gently close this little tour, it's clear how meaningful it is to build a home that reflects both personal history and enduring style. Ralph Lauren's vision, especially in a spring farmhouse setting, honors classic American design traditions while leaving room for individuality, imperfection, and charm. This vintage aesthetic isn't about chasing trends. It's about embracing what's timeless, what tells a story, and what makes us feel truly at home. Items like vintage trunks, antique dressers, old quilts, and faded wall art don't just decorate a space. They anchor it in memory and warmth. This approach to interior decorating invites us to mix textures, to pair worn wood with soft linens, to value craftsmanship, and to let rooms evolve naturally over time. With every worn edge and faded pattern, we see life lived well, a home loved deeply. Whether it's rustic farmhouse kitchens, spring florals, equestrian-themed artwork, vintage finds, or the warm glow of antique lighting, it all comes together to create a sanctuary that's as relaxed as it is beautiful. Thank you friends, for joining me on this gentle journey through Ralph Lauren's world of vintage, spring farmhouses, and classic American design. It's always such a pleasure to slow down and savor the quiet beauty of spaces like these. I hope you found inspiration here today. Maybe a new idea for a cozy corner in your own home, or a fresh perspective on layering textures and vintage treasures. If you've enjoyed this kind of content, be sure to stick around. There's always more rustic elegance and vintage decor wisdom to share here at Vintage and Rustic. Whether we're wandering through cottage gardens, restoring antique furniture, or exploring the rich world of farmhouse interiors, you'll always find a calm and welcoming space here with me. Until next time, keep embracing the beauty of simple, timeless living. And remember, a home filled with stories is a home filled with heart.